Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing? Back at it again tonight with the live. Good to see y'all again. Just a good day. Thursday, Friday's tomorrow. We got some really good sports games on right now. As I was doing some stuff, kind of prepping for this live, I was watching the Pacers playing the Bucks for the in-season tournament in the NBA, and it was a heck of a game. Halliburton is that guy. He's just him. I think of him as like a young James Harden. He doesn't have that lefty charm that Harden has, but he has the quickness, he has the shot, he has kind of a unorthodox shot, kind of like a set push shot, but he can dime it like no other and he can get to the rim. He's just an overall really good player. I'd say one advantage he does have over Harden is just because he doesn't turn the ball over like ever. All of last game and then all of this game he had zero turnovers. And they had a visual, like ESPN always loves their stats and stuff, but I think he ended the game with like 28 or 30 assists over the past two games, and he had zero turnovers both those games, which is insane. But he doesn't have the jump shot that Harden has. I will say that. But he's still young. He's kind of starting off with like the Kings, not a great organization at least at that time. So they weren't really winning games. Got traded to Indiana, wasn't a great team either, but they're starting to win games now. I think they'll probably make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But then you got the Lakers and the Pelicans at 8 o'clock. So that's going to be a really good game. And then you have Thursday Night Football, which honestly, tonight's game kind of sucks. But I have a couple players in my fantasy leagues that are playing, so I'll probably pop that on after this, um, doing all the timestamps and stuff. But got to crack open the sparkling water. I see I got my snack package back there. I need to eat all that up. I've been kind of bad with eating lately, just like not eating as much as I should be for my bulk, but it's been kind of tough. I'm getting tired of eating a ton of food all the time, so I'm probably gonna grab a pizza after this because I have free pizza from Domino's. But you gotta eat a lot of food. But anyway, last on Tuesday, I had an awesome live with the home math stuff. I actually don't even know. I'm not gonna pull it up right now because my CPU is running pretty high right now. But really exciting live. I really enjoyed doing that. We broke down his zones video. I'll probably do another breakdown of one of his other popular ones, which is the How Attractive Are You video. And he has a bunch of other ones as well. So see that in the future. Tonight, it's a money live tonight. I would say Money Monday, but it's not Monday. It's Thursday. So throw it on Thursday. We like to call it back when I was doing sales. But talk about the money, all about making money. And I was just going over some crypto stuff, but we're not talking about crypto tonight, even though crypto's popping off like over the past couple weeks, like my crypto account's gone up by like a grand. It's sick. And I don't have like a ton in there. I probably had a couple grand in there and popped off and it's feeling good. So we'll see where that leads us, but should have bought earlier. I've been D, uh, DCAing for a while since the beginning of the year, just every month putting a little bit into crypto because then the signs were there that crypto was gonna head into a bull market again, and here we go. So hopefully you got in early, like I did. Anyway, we're not talking about crypto tonight. Let's save that for another night. We're talking about treasuries. So kind of like the total opposite spectrum from crypto. Crypto is like highly volatile. Like you can get crazy returns, like 10,000x, but then you can also lose 10,000x. Versus treasuries are very safe. Now, I want to put a disclaimer as well. I put a disclaimer in the description, like I do with all my money and finance topic videos. Is I'm disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I do not claim any of this stuff to be financial advice. I'm not professional. So this is just strictly for education reasons. If you invest any money into anything, including treasuries, you could lose money. So there is always a risk, even though in my thumbnail I put risk free because it basically is risk free. When you think of in finance and you're talking about formulas and the risk free rate, which I guess we can kind of start with that. The risk-free rate we talk a lot about in finance and money and businesses is the rate at which you can give to the market, which you can go out and buy treasuries, and what return you're going to make off of that. And it's called risk-free rate. And obviously, there's nothing, no type of investment that is like 100% risk-free. But treasuries are the closest thing you can get to it. It's like 99.9% risk-free just because it's backed by the US government, and in order to pay their debts, they will just print more money in order to pay them. That's not necessarily a good thing, but there is close to zero chance of default on the government's end. And if there is default on the government's end, honestly, everything's just going to fall apart, and all of your money is going to be worthless anyway. So that's why you invest it into assets such as crypto, diversify, and real estate and stuff like that. Gold is also a good one as well. Nice, hard, tangible assets. But treasuries, uh, I guess I can explain next what treasuries are. If you're not very familiar, if you ever watch like CNBC, like the Money Channel or Fox Business, they always talk about the 10-year yields and the 10-year spread and stuff like that. So they're talking about treasury. If you've never heard of treasury, stream's kind of lagging a little. Let me let it till it calms down. I'm closing a couple of things. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, I think we're back. All right, I think I think we're back. Okay, so I apologize for that. I don't know, my frame rate just like dropped extremely. So I dropped like 27 frames. That's insane. I've actually haven't had that happen in a long time. My laptop's going hard right now. But what I was saying is, if you don't know what treasuries are, you've probably heard of bonds. I've talked about bonds, stocks and bonds. Everyone kind of knows what a stock is. It's like your ownership into a company. Bonds, on the other hand, are when companies or governments as well issue bonds, but it's a form of debt on their part. So they issue these things called bonds. In the olden days, there used to be actually like pieces of certificates, actual physical paper bonds that they would give to people, and basically you would pay, let's say $100, or I think face value for a lot of bonds is like $10,000. So $10,000 in exchange for this piece of paper that says, "Hey, you gave us $10,000. We owe you 10,000." And every so often, every 6 months, every month, every year, every 12 months, every 24 months, we're going to give you this coupon payment, or we're going to pay you back. You're basically loaning them or the entity money. So it could either be a company or a government, a municipality, a city, whatever. Any type of entity that is borrowing money from you or from consumers and then promising to pay back that by a certain amount of time. And then in between, they'll typically have an iteration of payments, whether that be semi-annually or monthly, like I said, every 6 months or so. And they'll pay you back in payments. And that's essentially what a treasury is. A treasury is the US government's form of that. So whenever you think of like bonds by the US government, they're typically called treasuries. And there's different kinds of treasuries as well. So let's go ahead and hop into the different kinds of treasuries, because there's different durations, different lengths of the treasuries. And I'm going to go to the actual direct US government's like treasury site. It's called TreasuryDirect.gov. Let me hop to that real quick. All right, here we go. So types of treasury and marketable securities. So this is actually the site. I'll go to the actual site. So TreasuryDirect.gov, like I said, this is where you can directly buy treasuries. Now, I tend to like using this site. There are other places where you can buy them off of like Vanguard or Charles Schwab, or you can even buy them off of I think Robinhood too, or Webull and stuff like that. Typically on those brokers, you have to look and see if they maybe charge an extra fee to do that, because I know sometimes they do, so that will eat into your return, as well as there's typically a minimum of dollar amount that you have to purchase. So I know Schwab, it's like I think $1,000, so you have to invest at least $1,000 or buy $1,000 worth of treasuries in order to actually make a transaction, make a purchase. The other brokerages, I'm not exactly sure, but there's usually some sort of minimum that you have to meet in order to use that service through that brokerage. For Treasury Direct, it's really nice. You can, I believe it's $10, I think is the either $10 or $100. But I mean, if you're not looking to invest at least $100 into something, then you probably shouldn't. And especially into this, I wouldn't recommend it just because 5% is great, especially in this environment of very high inflation. Well, high inflation, maybe not so much, but the fact that it's just 5% is crazy because think of most people's bank accounts, you're yielding like 0.1% annually. So 5% annually is awesome for literally just parking money somewhere and taking no risk on it as well. But yeah, the, the larger amounts of money you have, the more money you're going to make off of this because it's the interest payments that you're going to receive. So this is the website. I like doing it just because there's no extra fees, and you can do reinvestments as well. I'm sure with the other platforms you can do reinvestments too, but you can literally throw a sum of money in there and then have it reinvest on a certain schedule, and you can kind of forget about it for a while, and then you can see if you need to adjust it however often. So it's really nice, and you yield the max amount that you can off of treasuries. So I guess let's go back to the different types. So these are all based off of different durations. So basically, how long you promise you give the government to pay you back, essentially. So bills are the shorter term ones, short term securities with 5 term options from 4 weeks up to 52 weeks. So 4 weeks being basically a month, the 52 weeks being 1 year. Bills are sold at face value or a discount or at a discount from face value. I'm not going to get into the whole like present value and actual value of the bonds themselves, just because that's a little bit more complicated process, and that's not kind of the purpose of this video. Because the purpose of this video is you kind of have, say, I'd say anywhere from a grand to like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, even maybe up to 100K, where you're just like, I don't real this might be a little of my nest egg or something, or I like to keep something in cash, but I just don't want it sitting in my bank account, and I really don't want to take any risk on this whatsoever. But I'm willing to kind of lock it up for a somewhat shorter period of time, maybe not for a full year or so, but say you want to get into I this is what I'm doing. It's called Treasury Ladder. So my specific strategy, I actually learned this from Hormozy, doing every so which is a week treasury bill. There's only 13 weeks, and I guess the days end up. So, but 13 treasury bills are every 3 months. All right, I'm lagging again, so let me kind of catch up. Okay, I think we're good. I don't know. I apologize for the issues tonight. I don't know why we're running into this stuff. But as I was saying, 13 weeks, I'm doing it every 3 months. That way, it gives you liquidity. So after every 3 months, you have the access to the cash if you want. because it's not locked up and you don't have to sell the security because it's already matured, as we say at the end of a bond's lifespan. Once the time comes where it's you're expecting the full payment of what you gave to them to borrow, then that's called what's called maturity. So it's like the end of the life of the bond. So every 3 months, that way, at the end of every 3 months, you have the option to, hey, I'm going to do something else with this. Thanks for the interest you gave me, for me lending you this amount of money. I could move it into another vehicle, or like I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of reinvesting it back into more treasuries. So I currently have only put $1,000 in, but I plan into putting in another 2 grand, and probably the next couple months or so, because that's when this one will mature that I just put in a couple weeks ago. And then that's what's called ladder. So it's like the ladder keeps continuing, and every 3 months I have the option to, and I can take out the interest as well. So I can just keep reinvesting the 3 grand or whatever, or the grand each 3 times over and over again into the same type of treasury. And I think you can do that up to 2 years or something like that. The reinvestment. And I'll kind of show you what the interface looks like as well. But those are bills. All right. And that, sorry, I talked about my strategy a little bit, which I probably should have saved until a little bit later. But uh, these are the bills, so short-term bills. And then the notes are the ones that you hear them talking about in the news all the time. So the 10-year note, two, three, four, 5, 7, 10-year notes. 10-year note is probably the most prominent one. That's based off of kind of like interest rates, or the main interest rates that they're talking about in the news. And then 2 year, you have the 10-2 spread. That's a big indicator that a lot of financial people track, kind of like the difference between the 10-year and the 2 year spread. And they pay interest every 6 months. So these treasury bills, you're only paid once they mature. So at the end of the life of the bond. And then treasury notes, you're paid interest every 6 months, so semi-annually. Then bonds, on the other hand, so these actual like treasury bonds, I know these are all kind of what we classify as bonds, are very long term. So historically a 30-year investment, but now I guess they're doing 20-year bonds. Which, I mean, unless you're some sort of like foreign government or entity or something like that, I have no idea why you would invest into 20 or 30-year bonds, like basically just like investing into someone's mortgage or something. I guess to just lock in, especially at rates right now, possibly, but I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily understand the strategy behind that unless you're like another foreign municipality or government that is in a very economic or a very volatile economic situation. And then there's floating rate notes. I'm not going to get into all this. Tips, I think, is an interesting one that might be a whole nother video and live itself. But I also have to understand a little bit better myself. So Treasury inflated protected securities is what they call them. So it's really interesting because they are protected by inflation. They adjust according to the inflation, or what it says, changes in the consumer price index, which is a good indicator to see basically is there inflation happening or not. But treasury bills are kind of the main one I'd recommend if recommending anything. So if you're wanting to park your money somewhat short term, anywhere from a couple months to maybe a year or so, and you want to gain advantage of this 5% interest rate environment that we're in, then be my guest and go ahead and do it. So let's talk about how to do this or how to set up an account. So it's pretty easy to set up an account. Set one up like a month ago. You open a new account, type in all your information. Super easy. It took me like 5 minutes to do that. And then once you're into your account, it'll look like this. So you have my account. So this is kind of like the home page, and it has, all right, your current securities. Like I said, I have $1,000 in there currently, and it's pretty simple. So my account is showing you a summary of kind of what you have. You can go into current holdings, and you can look more into that. And then you can also look into like how to buy. This is how you buy. So buy direct, bills, notes, bonds. Select your different type, different one, and then so I do bills. So right here, bills. Then you click submit, and then you can select your duration. So anywhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks, 13 weeks, 17 weeks, 26 weeks. I know it's kind of confusing with the weeks just because we think of more months than weeks, especially when it's more than a month's worth. We don't say 12 weeks for 3 months. We say 3 months. But 13 weeks is essentially what 3 months is. And then, like I said, it goes all the way from 4 weeks, which is 1 month, to 52 weeks. And oh, I don't know if I can pull this up. Maybe I can't. Okay. Oop, sorry. I don't mean for you guys to see the second screen coming up. Remove that. All right, we're good to go. Sorry, I tried to pull up. So, kind of like what it looks like. I guess I can't necessarily share this. I have it up on a Word document because I'm blurring out some of my information, but it's I don't know if I can pull up a Word. The doc has a second window because it's only allowing me to do like a Chrome. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if I'm able to do that. But essentially, it's nice because you can see like the purchase amount that you have, source of the funds, and then you can schedule reinvestment. So it's basically like how many times you want to do it. So you can schedule yes or no. I have mine scheduled for reinvestment. You can, and it says bills may be scheduled for reinvestment for up to 2 years. So that's nice. And then also payment destination. Typically, you can put it as the same as the source of your funds. So I have like a bank account linked to it where sources will come from there just like a brokerage account. And then once the maturity date comes and they pay me back plus the interest, it'll go into that same account. But you can do it many different ways. The source of the funds account can be different, and then you send it to a different account, or you could send like the interest that you make from it to a different account, but keep the reinvestment in there. So there's lots of different things you can do with it. And I definitely wanted to share this one. Let's see if I can do this. That way you can kind of see like, so this is like the 13-week bill that I purchased. All right, I might have to download it as an image real quick. I can download it. Sorry, give me 1 second. I guess I should have been a little bit more prepared. um, I don't know if I pasted it into a Word doc. Oh, here we go. Save picture. Sorry. Please bear with me for a moment. Um, all right, should work now. Let me put it up in my main feed. Is it not on this one? Dang it. All right, well, I have it here. Oh, I'm blowing it up for you guys because I added it onto the screen share one. But here we go. This is the most recent one I've purchased. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me check to make sure that is being shared. I believe it is. Oh, now I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, you can. All right. For the lag, it is lagging hard. I apologize. Okay, are we good? I think. Okay, yeah, we're good. Um, yeah, it was getting real laggy right there. All right, so this is the one that I purchased in security type 13-week bill, par amount. So that's the amount that I purchased it for. $1,000, price per $100. All right, might have bought it at a little bit of a discount. Uh, Investment and then interest rate. So I'm currently getting like around like 5.5% on this, and this is annualized. So this is APY speaking. So it's not like 5.5% in 3 months. It's 5.5% over the year. So if you do that 5.5%, let's do the exact amount, 5.488 divided by 12 months. So it's roughly 0.45, 0.46% per month. So annualize that. Say I kept this in, rescheduled for a whole year. This is $1,000. At a So that would pay me an extra like. Actually, that's not right. Sorry, I did 50% instead of 5%. It's going to be a big difference. So this $1,000 over an annualized year, it's going to pay me $50. So it's obviously not like a huge amount, but for literally just parking money in anywhere, this eventually adds up. So imagine 10x this. So instead of $50, it's going to be $500 if you have like 10 grand in there. So like I said, I'm just doing this for a little bit extra yield and some flexibility as well. So say you had like 30 grand and you do 10 grand, a 10 grand 3 times ladder, treasury ladder that I'm doing with just a grand right now, then you're going to have $500 come in every 3 months. So, and obviously if you have more money then, and obviously this isn't necessarily a long-term thing. This is one very low risk, if any risk at all. So that's why it's attractive for people to earn like 5.5% with literally zero risk and you don't have to do anything. Like it's pretty dang good. So good way to park money, especially if you want to keep some in cash. You don't want to like buy stock that might be a little bit volatile, might go down, or maybe an investment property that your money's going to be locked in, or another illiquid asset that you can't really sell quickly. So this is a good vehicle to park some of your money in. And as you can see, issue date right there. Actually bought it at the beginning of November, so another 2 months it'll be matured. Maturity date, and then number of investments. I just put an arbitrary four in there just because I don't know. I just put four. Like I said, you can do up to I believe 3 years. So that is that. All right, and that's about it for tonight. Not super complicated, just the kind of the basics about, all right, this is what the website is, this is how you kind of create an account, this is how you make a purchase. It's pretty simple. So that is that. All right, I'll leave y'all to it. There's some good games to watch. I'll keep you all updated on the future lives I'm going to do, and I'll catch y'all later. As with everything, trying to help you guys get stronger, smarter, healthier, wealthier. So go ahead, follow for more lives, follow for more tips. Always stay pumped. All right, catch y'all later. You know what time it is. It's time for the outro.